Sheehan, by way of a short introduction, I am an Englishman, born from an Irish family, who is married to a French woman, and I now live in the Netherlands. So there will be a test on that at the end. I hope you took that all in. And I'm joined today by Abhinath and my team and Anita, so thanks for joining me today. A little bit of an intro today. As you heard, there was a bit of a change in the schedule this morning. I was actually joking with my team last night, because these guys, they know their work backwards. And I was actually joking with them over a beer, saying, guys, I know if I put you on stage, you could quite happily talk about this project and about the work you do passionately and win a massive crowd over in no time at all. And then I woke up this morning and I saw the announcement about, unfortunately, the original presenter not being able to make it. And I thought, let's test that hypothesis. So here we are. And my team did threaten to kill me when I told them this earlier. So apologies. Thank you, guys, for stepping up for this. So I'm going to give a very quick intro, then hand over to the experts who do all the real work on this. A little bit about Elsevier as a company. I think quite a few of you caught my colleague Suzanne's presentation yesterday, talking about Elsevier, the big publisher, and our amazing history and all of this. I'm not going to talk about that as a result. I'm going to assume you all know about Elsevier as a publisher. But one thing I really like about this slide is the digital transformation journey we've been on ever since I joined the company 20-odd years ago. And it really is going from the original thing, read this. Here is an article. Here is a PDF of that article. Here is this scientific information that we as a publisher are giving to you. Here's a patent. Here's the relevant information you as a scientist, you as a researcher need to do your job. And then we move from a transition there to search for this. So as we start to digitize everything, which is what I was brought into the company many years ago to originally do, put things in XML, put things in HTML, etc. We have Science Direct, we have Embase, we have Clinical Key, really great products in their field that help the researchers get more quickly to the information they need in this tsunami of data that assails them every day. I see a few people in the audience nodding when I say that, so I know I'm speaking to the converted on this one. And then where we want to get to, where we've been really focusing our journey on the last few years, like Suzanne was saying yesterday, is do this. So from content to data to insight. How can we help our researchers get as quickly as possible to the fact they need, to the information they need? And then perhaps even going beyond this point here to more of the predictive space. How can we help you do your job? How can we help you find this retrosynthetic path to make this compound that you've just invented? How can we help you predict a drug-drug interaction? That's the end game of all of this journey in the life sciences space. So a bit of a silly diagram, but it's worth talking about a little bit. Suzanne and my colleague Samir also spoke about this the other day. Elsevier at its core, in terms of an enrichment journey, traditionally would take information from journals, from patents, working with customers, working with people who have these enormous open data sets. We would work to find the relevant journals, the relevant patents in all of that. That would be our first stage. And then we'd also prepare that and align it with the customer data. And then we'd enrich it, and then we'd ingest it into a product database, or increasingly a graph. And then traditionally, we'd offer it up for search to a UI, to a researcher. That's still a very big part of our business, as Samir was talking about so expertly earlier. But also, increasingly, that same data can feed the data scientists, can feed the analysts, the people who want to do a workbench, the people who want to build these predictive models. And that's really the core of what we serve as a community. And you'll notice in all of this that I don't talk about Elsevier as a publisher. Occasionally, I get my wrist slapped for this. I don't care where this stuff comes from. I am totally agnostic, and our team are totally agnostic. We take content in from Elsevier, we take it in from Wiley, we take it in from Blackwell. We are very open-minded about that, because our customers need all of the insights coming in. They don't just need Elsevier's view of the world, they need everything coming through. And when they get patents, they don't just want USPTO, they want the Korean Patent Office. They want all the 107 patent offices in the world. So that's what they're looking at on that side of it. Oh, and of course, sorry, one thing I should say underneath that, which again my colleague spoke about expertly earlier, underneath this whole journey is, of course, our taxonomies, our data models. These are things we've invested years and years into building. Elsevier's view of this domain, Elsevier's view of this space. And this is something that our customers pay as a lot of money to curate and offer to them as part of their journey. Now, traditionally, this whole piece here, when I first started in this group, was done by suppliers. And it was done very well with a number of partners we work with in this country, in the Philippines, in Russia and elsewhere. People who have expertly been indexing our content for years and years. But of course, there's a limit to how many human beings you can throw at that problem. There's only so many expert chemists in the world. So increasingly, part of my coming into this group was to say, okay, how do we automate that? How do we really take that up a scale? And just to throw in a brief fact on that, when I first started working with the Reaxys team, we were processing 250 journals a year. We're now processing 16,000. Just to give you an idea of the difference in scale of this. So a little bit more about how we approach this. A lot of the conversations people tend to have around data science, and perhaps it's me misparsing it, but I hear a lot about, oh, we create this ML model, we analyze all of these ML models together. I get that. We don't believe that there's one silver bullet. We don't believe that one ML model will solve all your problems, or one NLP technology, or so on and so on. We believe in ensembles. And we've worked really hard over many years to look at these ensembles. So we work with a lot of commercial partners who do really good NLP technologies, dictionary-based technologies, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of good tools out there. I am not going to reinvent the wheel. What's the point? So we work with these partners, and they do a great job. But also, Elsevier have their own tools. We bought a company, Cypher, a few of you may have heard of a few years back, which is an absolute industry leader in this space. And they've got some fantastic content and some really nice taxonomies, some best-in-class, I'd like to say, tooling around this as well. So we absolutely make use of that as well. But there's no silver bullet in all of this. Now, alongside that, of course, we've got all our taxonomies from the Cypher team. We've got the many, many taxonomies that Sameer's team have, that my team have, that my colleague George in research has as well. We've got loads of taxonomies in Elsevier that we serve our customers with, such as Mtree, which powers Embase, Reaxys Tree, which supplies Reaxys. You can get the way we name things in Elsevier pretty quickly from all of that. And then we've got other taxonomies that we brought in, like we have a gene proteins taxonomy over here that we developed ourselves over the last few years. That's our toolbox. That's where Abhinav and Anita go when they know they need to make something. And then we take that into our workshop. And then we take all of these Lego bricks, you'll hear this phrase a lot from us this week, and we add to that various ML models. Now, these ML models usually don't just work like an NLP technology would. They don't just find an entity or find a relationship. They find the relevant information. They find the right information for our customers. How do we know it's the right information? Because we ask our customers. Because we're working with them day in, day out, saying, what do you need? How can we serve you? Is this right? Is this wrong? And then we work with all of these. We've built numerous reference sets and gold sets and all this to train our models. We customize our taxonomies where we need to. Then out of that comes, often, an operationalizable data science stack, which we then work with our tech partners to actually make real. And you've heard numerous times about the journeys that a number of us are on around that. And that's our factory. That's our end game in all of this. And then, of course, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. The journey's never done. The journey's never done. When I first came in, we built this amazing technology, the first wave of pipelines. And it was great. We called it Ceph, Content Enrichment Framework. 3 years later, we've just built another one, a successor to that. So you're always developing. The technology is changing all the time. Now, last point from me. Don't look too closely at this org chart. It's 3 months old. It's out of date already. I've got another 10 people by now. 2 things I want you to take away from that. We have a very big domain and content expert team. And I was hearing my colleague speak earlier, I think the guy from Genpact, speaking about the importance of these domain experts working alongside the data scientists. You just have data scientists, you just have domain experts, you don't get what you need, and especially in our space. So you have to have these domain experts, ably represented here today by Anita. They are very important in this space, and the analytics they can do around that. And alongside that, you need the data scientists, the people like represented by Abhinav today. Those guys come together. Now, at the moment in my team, right now today, I have about 45 of these guys in my group. By the end of the year, I'm going to have 60. Where am I hiring these extra 15 people? Well, surprise, surprise, here. So if you want to see me afterwards, come and see me. We'd welcome a conversation. Our booth's just outside. Brief plug from me. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to hand over to my team who are going to very ably talk about one of the biggest pipelines and investments we've done over the last few years. So Anita, over to you. I'll hand you the clicker. Thank you. I'm going to watch you.
That's comforting. Is it working? Yes.
How you doing?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'll take it from here. So today I'm going to talk about Reaxys. So Reaxys is our chemistry-focused product that we offer our customers. And as you can see, nicely put in. So this is what we promise and what we deliver as well. So our customers, they want to do research, right? So they need to have comprehensive coverage of what is published, what is relevant in the field they are working in. If somebody is working on, say, LEDs, so what was published? What is my competitor currently doing? Where are they? Did they publish any patents this year? And if they want to synthesize some substances, let's say there is a new molecule out there which can act on some kind of receptor for some cancer or Alzheimer's disease, we can show them how to do it. We have some paths. Okay, you can do this. These many these many suppliers will give you the starting materials for your chemistry. And also, yes, we can give it to them, but one of the important thing is, are we giving it to them on the right time? So, okay, after 1 year something is published, it's not going to be relevant for our customers. We have to deliver them the content on time and with all the possible leads. Sorry, I'm not used to this. Okay, as I said, so it's most comprehensive, most innovative, and a trustworthy chemical platform out there. And we do give it to our customers who are mainly chemists to solve some of the biggest problems in the world today. So they are trying to some of the really, really great problems for us, rare diseases, antibiotic resistance, and everything. And we help them in any way we can. So it is a database, a web-based chemistry database. And we have a lot of information in Reaxys. So we have compounds. So every compound has a property, right? So what is it acting on? For example, if you take aspirin, so what does it do after it enters your body? What is it? What are its properties? And if you want to synthesize this aspirin, nobody wants to do it because everybody does this and it's cheap. But if you want to synthesize a molecule, how do you do it? The synthesis information. And the target information, what are you targeting? And of course, the data, as I said, the competitors' work, everything. So in 2020, sorry. Okay. In 2020, we did a customer survey for Reaxys. So what we got out of it is, 2 of the areas, our customers said, we want improvement. We want something new from you. What is that? That is novelty searching and competitive intelligence. So what is novelty searching? It means they want to know if a compound already exists, if somebody synthesized it before, who did it? And competitive intelligence. So this is where, what is my competitor working on? Let's say there are 2 big pharmaceutical companies. So they want to know what the other company is working on. So they want it fast. They want to know what is relevant, what are other people working on, everything. So they want us to improve these 2 things. And these 2 are critical for their profitability because they can only patent new stuff, not the stuff that's already published in an article where everybody have the rights to. So to deliver what our customer requested, what do we do? What do we have to do? So we have to extract content from published documents, so patents or journal articles. So how many do we have to extract from? Millions of documents. Every year we have tens of millions of documents published. And we have to do it. We have to extract the content from them in a timely manner. So how do we do this? We have 2 ways that we can do it. One is manually. As Mark mentioned, we have our suppliers who does this for us. We have a set of around 300 journals where a subject matter expert goes through the journals and reads it line by line and extracts the relevant information and deeply indexes the content. It's of very high quality, but as you can see here, it's very slow and it's very costly and it's difficult to scale. So as Mark mentioned, currently we have 16,000 journal titles. So each journal publishes periodically many. So it will account 1 million articles every year. So we can't ask them to go through 1 million articles. So what do we, and also patents. We have last year in the chemistry domain around 1.8 million patents published. And each patent roughly has 200, 300 compounds of interest. So that's a lot of data. So what is our solution for this? An automated content enrichment pipeline powered by AI. So what are these? It's very fast, of course, and at an acceptable cost, easy to scale. You can do as many as you want, as many millions of documents you can feed it, and high quality. Okay. When you go with the manual acceptor, you have a precision of 99%. Here we are somewhere around 80s or currently for patents we are at around 92. It's not as high quality as 99, but yes, we are getting there. We have ML models that learn on the data every day, so it keeps on refining. So we named it, as Mark mentioned, we keep it simple. It's called Reaxys Content Catalyst. That's our project name. And as mentioned before, it is an AI-powered automated content enrichment pipeline. Yes. So what do we extract here in this pipeline? We extract chemical compounds. So if in a document there is a chemistry content, we extract it. We also extract biological targets. So do they have any information on if it is acting on a receptor or a gene or a protein? We extract that information, and of course, the bibliographic data. Who published this article, when? And abstract, title, all the bibliographic data you are aware of. Now, where do we get it from? Patents, journal articles, conference papers, all this published content. What do we use to create this pipeline? We use many things. It's an ensemble of many tools which we get from our partners, and we have our in-house enrichment tools that we have been building for almost a decade, and we have our own in-house built taxonomies which we use. So this is the screenshot of one of Reaxys. As you can see, you can filter on the, to your left side, a lot of things, you can filter it, and this is how it looks. So you can see here, I think it should work. Okay. You can see at the bottom, you see the chemical compounds from, this is a patent that was published by the US Patent Office in 2022. And these are the compounds. There are actually, as you can see, 112 or so substances mentioned in this article. And also, there are the target keywords. Those are the biologically relevant targets for this patent. We extract all this information automatically using the pipeline which we built. So it all sounds so easy and everything, but we had many challenges. So I'm a chemist by training, so when it comes to chemical compounds, you have many challenges. So a chemical compound can be represented by many names. A single compound, you can, for example, take aspirin. People call it aspirin, scientists call it acetyl salicylic acid, and some people just draw it, they don't call it. 60% of the time, the content comes from text, the chemical content, and 40% of the time, it's just in images. So you have to convert the image into the content which we can use. And we have to take all of this data, both from the text and the images, and we have to combine it. Otherwise, it's half work, right? So you can't just have only content from text and leave out the images. So we have to combine them both, and sometimes you have the same compound mentioned in the text and in the image. So we have to deduplicate it, we have to normalize it, and make sure we get everything. And also, not everything present in the document is relevant to our customers. As Mark mentioned, we asked, what do you want? And they said, okay, we only want this information. We don't want everything mentioned in a patent. Or for example, most of you are familiar with articles, right? In articles, you have an introduction section. So they say, okay, previously it used to be like this was done. That's not relevant to that particular article. It's just background information. The actual information is somewhere in between, like experimental section or so. So you need to have this relevancy. They only want to see the relevant stuff. And the other challenge is the diversity of the documents we get. So we get the documents from, as Mark mentioned, 170 patent offices in different formats. We get XMLs, PDFs, JSONs, we get images, everything. So they are throwing at us in a lot of diversity in different qualities. So content coming from one patent office is of high quality, but content we get from some other patent office is of very low quality. So we have to have this differentiation. And we have to normalize all of this data based on where this is coming from. And also, I also showed you the targets. So basically, these are the biologically important targets, like the genes or proteins the chemical compound acts upon. So the receptors. So the compound goes in and acts on a target, and for example, it's a drug molecule. So in targets also, we have the same challenges. So for example, you see, these are the names for the same receptor, for the same subunit. It's called by many names. And sometimes the abbreviations, the same abbreviation is used for two different target names. So in order to resolve this, we need to have this context. So we just can't say, okay, you find CDK in a document. That means it's citylate kinase. It is something else. Based on the context, we need to know what it is. And we have to resolve it. These are just some of the challenges we faced when we were building this pipeline. And again, the relevant versus irrelevant. It's very important because, for example, say there are 100 chemical compounds present in a published document. Maybe 40 of them are relevant. That means we have to remove 60% of the information before it reaches our reaxis. So we need to have these steps. We have to have, for example, in patents, let's say, we have irrelevant information, as I said, in the background and literature. We have relevant information in claims, experimental section, and everything. The first step to anything is identification. So first we need to identify what is in the published document. And then once you identify it, you have to classify it as two groups. One is relevant and one is irrelevant. So here comes our machine learning models, which Abhinav will take over after a while. So we have multiple annotators, and we create goal sets. And we use them to train our machines, and we create machine learning models which are used. And these machine learning models keep on learning from the data we feed it to. So it's a constant cycle, and it evolves. And over to Abhinav.
Hello. Thank you, Anita. So this is the data science part of it. And the challenges that Anita mentioned, we solve those challenges here. And what we leverage is data science. We use machine learning models. We use deep learning models. And a vast amount of knowledge that Elsevier has gained since so many years. Here, you see a very high-level overview of the RCC data science pipeline. This is just the data science part of it. And as Anita mentioned, that we extract relevant targets as well as the chemical compounds. So on the top, you see here is the relevant targets, the biological targets that we extract from the test. And in the bottom, you see in the pink color is the chemical compounds that we extract from the text as well as image data. Once we have these sets and we have trained our models, okay, so we get the information for patents from different patent houses, and we have text data, which includes the table information and also the image data. We use text for the biological targets. Here, we use many entity recognition algorithms. We use in-house algorithms. We also use our algorithms or solutions from our commercial partners. And we leverage these technologies to extract entities. Then we have our content experts who help us, create these enrichment components. Then we use this filter data, which is helpful. But then we use a more intelligent component or machine learning models to actually score them, assign them a relevancy score, and decide if that extracted compound is actually relevant in the context of a specific document or not. Okay. For that, in the case of targets, like we use machine learning solutions, and for chemical compounds, we use machine learning, and also in some cases we use deep learning components. Yeah. Then comes the images, right? So for images, there are different scenarios. We might get the images as a separate entity, or we have to extract it from these documents. We do that. Then we have to classify them. We have to find out only the compounds. We do that with our classifiers. We also have different conversion services that converts these images with chemical compounds into actual text, into a normalized form that we use in our organization to have a standard processing pipelines. Then we have different cleaning components where once we have extracted this data, we try to make it better in terms of they might be incomplete or they might be complete, but there are some relevant information in that. So we standardize them, we clean them, we have it so that we can actually merge it with our text information that we have extracted from the text pipeline. So we we merge this information, and we have a relevant compounds as well as we have the relevant targets, which actually then goes on to the reaxis, which is our the final product where you can use it definitely. Okay. Yeah, that was about the data science components. You have these data science components, you research about them, you experiment with them, you work with them. But at the end of the day, they have to be implemented efficiently in a pipeline. Because this is not a very small scale operation. It's a large scale operation with tons of data that we need to present, we need to use, right? So we work with with a great engineering team, which helps us, wrap these data science components, as you see on the further left. Yeah, we use Java technologies like Java. Then we have, some format conversion systems that we use to convert in different formats, and so that it can be used by the data science components. Once we have these components, very independent components, yeah, what we do is we plug them together. So once we create these pipelines, we don't have a single use case for them. We have these components, they are very independent, and we can use it repeatedly in different products, and we do use it. We use it in our patent pipelines, we use it in our journal article pipelines, right? We don't always have to, create it from the scratch. And then we plug them together in different combinations. Now, what this does is it helps us, make it more scalable. We, based on the demand of it, or how much load is there on the systems. We use these microservices, as I mentioned. Then sometimes what happens is we have to update these components. We have to retrain these models. We have to work on them, or in general, we have to improve them. Some of the commercial partners that we work with, they update these software sometimes. So having these independent components or microservices helps us definitely give us a better access to them and upgrade them. Then there is the API access. So once we have these components, we want to test it, because only then we will know that, okay, these are the results, or these are the, how we can compare it, right? So that's the independent part of it, and coming with all this together, we create this pipeline, and we have a great product, which is Reaccess. I'll give it back to Anita.
You. So we have this great pipeline. We have all these machine learning models. Okay, everything, yeah, sounds great. So did we deliver? Yes, we did deliver. As you can see, what did we deliver to our customers? We were able to deliver documents from 105 patent offices and 170 IPC classes. That's a code we give for patents. So what is this patent about? Is it about chemistry, food, agriculture, all these things? So we were able to do that. We were able to index all the bibliographic content, and we didn't do it just for English patents from US and the WO offices. We did it for foreign patent offices as well. And we also, people can do advanced search. We extracted as much information as possible from these patents so we can use it in different ways for our advanced search function by our customers. Now, what did we do? We did substance indexing and target indexing. And all the more, we deliver it within 5 days of publication. So a patent is published today, within 5 days, it will go through our pipeline, and it will reach Reaccess, and it will be available to our customers for their insights. So, as you can see, this is one more slide. In 2020, before RCC, our project, Reaccess contained 1.7 million documents. And we were offering only 7 patent offices to our customers. After the pipeline is live in 2022, within the span of just 1.5 years, now Reaccess has 32.5 million documents from 105 patent offices. And our customers are very happy. As you can see, a testimonial from one of our major customers. They were really happy about what we delivered, because we kept in constant touch with them. In the first phase, no, we just didn't stop it, after 1.5 years, we just go to them and say, oh, is this it? No, we were in constant touch with them, asking them, is this what you want? Are we going in the right direction? Do you want to make us any modifications? And this is what made it such a great success. So, how did we do it? So, as Mark mentioned, we have a great team. And our team is made of data engineers, data scientists, machine learning experts, subject matter experts, domain experts. We have used many ontology experts, and of course, the software developers. And so in 2022 and beyond, what do we want to do? So we delivered patents. Now we want to deliver journal articles as well. We have currently 65 million articles we want to process from these 16,000 journals. Don't make a mistake, patents and articles are very different. So the way the content is in articles is different from patents. So we have to adapt our pipeline so that it can process articles. So we can't just plug in the patent pipeline and use it. And we also want to have this information in a timely manner. And we also have partners. And this is one of our community programs. So we are, at Melbourne University, we have a kind of a competition where all these academicians, great people come together and try to solve problems like how to make it better, how to get the data from the text, images, how to get the context of it, how to index not only substances but reactions as well. And Mark?
Thank you, Anita. Thank you. I don't need that. Thanks very much. Thanks, guys. You know, I just want to thank my team. They did this presentation in 2 hours today. So please, give it up for my team. Thank you so much, guys. Great work. Really, really pleased to see that. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. This is the last slide. You're pleased to hear. So we just want to sort of talk a little bit about where we're going in the future. So as Anita really well said at the end there, we're not stopping with the work we've done so far. We're on an ongoing journey here for chemistry and beyond. That kind of sounds like Buzz Lightyear, but bear with me. So we're already working with Professor Karen Versboer in UMIT in Melbourne. We've worked, you may have heard about us working with Professor Mark Waller, who's done some great work in the sort of retrosynthesis models. He was one of the pioneers in that space. That model is on Reaxys right now, and we're actively developing further retrosynthesis models. We're also going to do forward synthesis as well. We are part of a community. We are part of a research community, a chemistry community, a life sciences community, and we actively engage in that space. So Anita was talking really well there about Chemu and the clay challenges we sponsor at the regular conferences every year. We are deeply invested with forming partnerships. We're always interested to talk to partners in multiple locations. We have a long-running partnership with a number of universities in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. We're starting to do similar in Germany. I would love to do something similar here in India as well. So we're really interested to talk to anyone around that going forward. And I think that was it. So thank you, everyone, for bearing with us.